Literally one Ryan here. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble, the collection. Pride and Joy, Love Struck Baby, Couldn't Stand the Weather, Cold Shot, Change It, Texas Flood. These are just some of the songs, some of the tracks included in this collection. Overall, it includes 41 tracks. And some of them are live, some of them are studio tracks. Of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan is definitely my all-time favorite blues guitarist. Not that, I have other favorites, but honestly, I've yet to come across anyone else who played the guitar quite like him. I would say maybe there's a handful of blues guitarists that I've heard about, either seen live or just happened upon some of their stuff on YouTube or whatever, and some of them, like I would say, maybe they get really close to being almost, not quite, but almost in the similar kind of vein of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Playing wise, and but even then, not so much singing. I know Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's the thing. I like that how he started out and he didn't have much formal training. He just picked up the guitar, started wailing on it. I think that's a big part too of why he's my favorite blues guitarist, because me personally, I'm a musician too. I've been playing guitar for, collectively, at least 17 years, 18 years of experience collectively in and out of bands. When I started, I didn't have any formal training. I took a couple classes here and there, but when I first started, just like Stevie Ray, I just picked it up and just banged on the strings until my fingers hurt. Which is another interesting thing. I remember I read about how I read an interview with Stevie Ray, because it was a long time ago. It was in Guitar World magazine, and this was definitely way before the internet took off, before it became a popular form of information. Or this one interview I read with Stevie Ray Vaughan, he talked about the fact that his guitar tone had a lot to do with the fact that he would play with bass strings. And, obviously, bass strings and guitar strings are completely different. If you didn't know that already, for those of you who aren't musicians, who don't really have a really thorough knowledge of, I guess you could say, the technical aspects of music. Guitar strings, bass strings are different. Bass strings obviously are much more thicker. So Stevie Ray Vaughan, he played with some of the, I guess you could say, quote-unquote thinnest bass strings available. the ones that are thin enough to actually fit onto a guitar. But that definitely attributed to his tone, his sound. But also too, it took a toll on his fingers. And so in this interview, he mentioned that he eventually wore down his fingertips so much that the calluses began to bleed, they got holes in them and they began to bleed, and I guess some nights it really hurt him to just touch the strings, and but eventually I guess he got used to it, because then he also mentioned in the same interview that he would just tear off tear the skin off his fingertips, and then, of course, underneath that skin were holes, and he would fill those holes with like crazy glue or rubber cement of some kind, and then put the skin back on top to cover the holes in his fingertips, and then because it was like quick drying rubber cement, and so that's how he was able to continue to play, I guess. And I don't know if he exaggerated at all in that interview, but after I read it, I thought about it, and it actually made sense to me, because that would explain his guitar sound, his overall tone. He had that. He always had that like smooth, like clear, thick kind of tone. And again, that makes sense to me, because usually that kind of tone is associated with bass guitar, the bass strings. And so, I don't know, that's just an interesting fact that I thought I would share. Because as far as this collection is concerned, this album, I like the bulk of it. Maybe there's some stuff, some of the songs, like some of the live tracks, for me, like, I'm not too big on, mostly because it was, because I know he did some stuff with some members of some orchestra or something, or like he did several covers that included brass instruments like trumpets, trombones, and saxophones, and so for some of that, like, it became like a little more jazzy rather than blues. And well, I do like some jazz. I'm not a huge jazz fan. I'm more into blues. So for those tracks, the ones that sound more like jazzy or jazz-like, or they still sounded great, but they're just not really my cup of tea. And so obviously, I give this album, I give it, at the most 4 stars, maybe. I have 4.5 out of 5 stars. And it's just again, like I said, those jazzy tracks that kind of caught me off guard. And I really, unfortunately, Stevie Ray Vaughan passed a long time ago, quite a while ago. I do wish I could have seen him live, and there's a lot of really great live footage of him on YouTube. In fact, I'll see if I can provide some links to that so you can check it out if you haven't already. So, but definitely, if you're looking to get into really good blues, I definitely recommend picking up really any album by Stevie Ray Vaughan. But I guess this collection would definitely give anyone a bit of a more well-rounded idea of just like overall what Stevie Ray Vaughan was capable of. So and the fact that he was just such a unique, amazing, awesome musician. And so something that I definitely feel like we need more of nowadays. So, or at the very least, all the awesome musicians who aren't getting heard, they definitely deserve to be heard more. So, and in short too, I want to say, support your local music. Definitely, whenever you can, however you can, support your local music, local musicians, local bands, just local creative people. Because you never know what'll happen to them. How far-reaching their music can be, or whatever it is they create, how far-reaching it can be. So, yeah. Support your local artists, local musicians, local creative people. So that's it for this review. Again, I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And yeah, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.